I used to sing about wanting to be alone, and now I'm not singing
That is such a valid point.
I'm like, not the time or the place for that.
Yeah.
PowerPoints, power lunches, conference calls, reply to all, endless meetings, constant check-ins, and so much wasted time. Are you sick of the BS? So are we. It's time to take our time back, rework the way we work, and make every call a call to action. This is a podcast for people who want to stop talking and really start connecting. This is After 12.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to After 12, 12 for 12's original podcast series that explores cool brands, companies, messages, and makers, and what compels us to take notice and become fans. We have a very special show today. I am joined by my dear friend, designated driver, and creative collaborator, Mr. Chris Brandt. No, go.
I thought that was my point. I thought that was my jump-in point. I mean, I don't even have a license anymore, so that's how I
you don't have a license to drive?
Yeah. No.
Well, Chris, we are especially blessed because today, formed in 2013, Cherry Glazerr is an LA-based rock band made up of guitarist and lead vocalist Clem Creevy, drummer Tabor Allen, and bassist Devin O'Brien, with a sound that has evolved and been described from lo-fi, garage rock, fuzz, heavy shoegazer, with elements of grunge, punk, new wave, and unicorn blood. Defining these guys is really missing the point. Listening and experiencing their music is the glaze. Internet, please join me in welcoming Clem and Taber from Cherry Glazerr. Guys, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
I hope that you changed I hope you edited our Wikipedia page to say unicorn blood. Or was that already there?
It's widely known. What are you drinking right now, Clem?
You don't want to know. No, I'm actually drinking turmeric tea out of my late show with James Corden cup.
Oh, that's awesome. That actually, I want to ask you about quarantine, but since you've got the cup up there, one of my, I studied improv at Second City, and one of my all-time favorite improvisers musically is Reggie Watts. And the fact that you guys got to share the stage with Reggie was like a wet dream for me. And I remember watching it, I was like, amazing. I was just bated breath. What was that like?
Oh, Reggie's amazing. He's awesome. We met him at a Halloween party at, I think it was 2018, and we were playing a Halloween party, and he was also playing with Wahada, his group that he does with John Tejada, an awesome producer. And they were playing, Santa Gold was playing, we were playing. It was a really fun show in downtown LA. And he was in the dressing room, and I was like, I gotta make my move. Like, this is Reggie Watts. Yeah. I love him so much. He's the best person ever. I'm gonna go say hi to him. So I walked up to him and I was like, what's up? I'm Clem. We're playing tonight. How's it going? And he was so cool and so nice. He's like, oh my God, Cherry Glazerr, I love you guys. I was like, ah!
That's got to be a great feeling when you're like, I'm a super fan. And he's like, I'm a super fan. You're like, do you want to be best friends? He's like, yeah, I want to be best friends.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
100%. So we hung out that night. And then, of course, our manager was like, oh yeah, I know his manager. And we're like, amazing. So we got in touch and we talked about doing the remix for Daddy first. So we set him our track, and it had just come out, and we're like, will you do a remix of this? I don't know if you've ever done that before, but I just feel like it would be cool and fun.
He clubified the hell out of that remix too.
Yes, that was his first mix. He sent me one mix. I was in New York at the time doing a press, and I was staying at my friend Davey's house, and he emailed me that mix, and it was the first mix, and I was like, don't change anything, don't touch it, it's perfect. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. So yeah, he's really a jack of all trades, and honestly, one of the nicest, most like open people I've met approachable in the industry. Yeah,
I met him. So our buddy Noah Tabagan does. He was doing Tour de Fat when it was still going on. He goes by Snake. And he was in a tent doing something with Reggie, and he's like, do you want to meet him? And I was like, yeah, I want to meet Reggie. And he's just the nicest guy, and he's got the coolest shirts. Like I stole my idea for like doing kind of funny shirts from Reggie. Like this one says alcohol you later, but like he's got one that he wears a lot that says the beginning is near and shit like that. I'm like, we're about the same size, Reggie. If I could ever borrow a t-shirt, you know?
Yeah, I love how off the walls he gets with his humor and how like weird and dark he can get. Like when we were rehearsing with him, he did this thing where he's like, he made this crazy joke. I don't know if you remember this, Tabor, but he's like, yeah, no, let's just do that and then not do that. And then let's do that again and then not do that. And then like maybe turn it around and maybe like go for a little bit further and then like flip it back around and then try again. And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, no, like nothing I just said made sense. And I'm like pretending to like act like he was making sense. Cause I just like was like, I don't know what you're saying.
That is amazing.
But, I think he lives his humor every day and is always just like going for stuff and is so explorative in his waking life, and I think it's cool.
Well, and it's like you bumped into him at a party you guys were playing together. How is the collaboration going now where you're not like organically playing, big festivals with people or just bumping into folks at shows? Are you like reaching out more? Do you find yourself like, hey, I want to, play with somebody, so you pick up the phone? Or
yeah, we've actually been working with a producer over FaceTime, so it's been interesting to do the record making process from home without being in the room with anyone. And I think what's been interesting about it is being able to communicate well. Like it's funny because the one thing I've noticed is like they might not have the right tone. Like they might have the right synth tone that you want for something. But if you were in the same room together, you'd be tone diving together. So you'd just be like, ba, 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 this is what I want, boo. And it's those small things that you can't really do with someone. So you're like, here's a reference. I kind of want it to be a little bit less this and a little more this. And then they have to go and like pick it. And you're like, you're close, but not quite.
Yeah. Jake is taking piano lessons, and the piano teacher's like through FaceTime on a music stand, pointing out the keys.
Wow.
And it's just like, I don't know how we're making this stuff work, but you can make it work.
Totally. I mean, the mix that we just got back, that I think is our final mix before we head to mixing, is awesome. And it's been really cool to work with with her because she is so cool and awesome. And so, yeah, it's weird to be like meeting people, but you're not really meeting in real life, but you're still meeting them.
Right.
Do you find that like now that you have all this time that's like really aiding the creative process, or is it just like making you crazy?
It's making me crazy because of the circumstances. Honestly, if I'm being totally honest, it's been a little bit harder to create than normally. Yeah, because I don't need, like, I write on the road. I can write in the van. I'm always writing. So, and I haven't been. And I think it's because of the state of mind, really. And I have a lot of time on my hands and a lot of space, but I haven't been using it productively. And we've been moving at a slower pace, but we're still working, and that feels really good. But it is weird and strange, and I have been kind of writing about the pandemic a little bit. I don't know. It's easy. It's harder for me to write happy songs, but that's kind of what's been coming up during this. So that has been an interesting shift in the creative process during this time is I feel like the subject matter has changed a little bit, because I used to sing about wanting to be alone, and now I'm not singing about
that is such a valid point.
I'm like, not the time or the place for that.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for.
Exactly. It's not fuck off anymore. It's please come in.
Exactly. I'm like, when I look outside my window, I see all the people.
And how about you, Tabor? I mean, like, you guys must be jonesing to play out. Like, are you playing the drums in your living room and your roommates are like, hey, Tabor, can you keep it down?
We just got back into this space.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
I've been playing a lot of guitar. I've been learning some Dido songs on the guitar.
Play White Flag for us.
And I think, I mean, look, definitely. I had this moment a few weeks ago where Clem and I were hanging out, and it was at night, and I would just all of a sudden was like really overwhelmed with sadness of missing performing together. So much of our lives is like sharing the stage, and we don't get to do that now, and it's sad. It's a bummer. I think, like, as a creative person, it's hard to be functional when you have so much uncertainty about what comes next. Like, will there be a music industry after this? Should there be a music industry? I don't know. But it feels, it's difficult to get into that space where you like want to make things because you just don't know what it's worth, what any of it's worth, Yeah.
Have you been writing more in the sense of like content, lyrics, thoughts? I mean, has this helped? Has this helped you kind of want to tell more stories about your experiences?
I think, as far as what Clem and I have been doing, one of the cool things about it is that it's forced us to find some new avenues to create. So, we're a rock band, and a lot of our time writing music together is like jamming, like loud as fuck in our rehearsal space and making a lot of noise. And that hasn't been the case for the last few months. It's been a lot of like, let's grab a bunch of keyboards and like jump on the laptop and like try and make crazy sounds and like rip some drums from some old soul songs and like just try to. It's cool because it forces you to like think in new ways. And so I do feel like some of the stuff that we're working on is it's taken on kind of a new sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, we were already kind of moving in that direction a little bit. Before the pandemic, we had talked a lot about doing more sample-based music because we have been listening to a lot of electronic music and a lot of beat stuff. And
we got you froze right there. You were sampled.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No,
am I
going.
Still frozen? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so we had talked about it. We were listening to a lot of Kaichernada, a lot of Yeji, a lot of indie electronic rock, and then a lot of like house too, like DJ Koza and stuff like that. So because we listened to so much of that, I think that we wanted to bring in that influence a little bit. So we were already talking about doing more Ableton sample-based stuff. So
you're speaking
in that
Chris's
way,
language.
it was cool.
I'm recording this with Ableton right now.
Nice. Yeah. So, but it's weird to not. I almost feel like I've realized that writing is so different from playing, because sometimes when we're in the room and we're jamming and Tabor's playing drums and I'm playing guitar, a lot of that is expression and an outlet, and I'm just being able to feel my feelings, and it doesn't feel as much like writing. And then writing is when I'm home alone thinking, writing down lyrics, coming up with melodies. I mean, melodies for me, actually, I don't actually sit down to write them. They pop.
They just popped. Melody. You froze again right at the perfect time.
I'm sorry, my internet sucks, y'all.
It's okay.
Well, you guys have such like a really awesome like raw energy. I got to imagine that is actually really hard for you because like you're sitting home in your bedroom. And it's like where does that energy come from, right?
Oh my god, dude!
and that energy, like this week, was supposed to be with the foils and local natives. I mean, again, being able to exercise that breath and just fucking rock out. Especially now, I'm sure you have so much pent up rock out in you that the first time you guys hit a stage, everything's going to just explode. And
your audience is going to be like, I got to take a nap.
Right.
I know, like we were in the space the other day and we were so itching to play and it felt amazing to play because we moved out of our rehearsal space. We have a rehearsal lockout that's a big downtown building and it was like not smart to go there every day. So we were working from my house, which was insane. We brought all the gear into my house and I was just living in gear. And then we were like, oh my God, we have to move this stuff back to the space and get paid now. So we did that. But yeah, we definitely have some pent up feelings that we are going to have to jam out.
Are your management, is the team looking at new gigs? Do you have anything upcoming or scheduled?
Everything's been canceled, even up until next year. It's uncertain. So we technically don't have a lot on the docket. Everything has been canceled, and like no one feels comfortable. Like I think committing to anything, and I'm talking about festivals and organizers. Sure. I don't think anyone feels comfortable committing to anything at this time. But hopefully, if things start opening back up again, they will start putting things back together again for next year. But I'm pretty sure 2020 is a bust as far as live gigs go.
Yeah. Well, you guys have played with. I mean, you're at the top of your game. You're in the circuit with Portugal the Man, the Flaming Lips, Churches, all of these great bands. Have you guys talked about doing any sort of like virtual stuff? Have you talked about virtual music festivals or concerts? Yeah,
we did this Minecraft thing. That was fun. We played in Minecraft. So we pre-recorded a live set from my house and then Minecraft built little versions of us and put us on a stage and then people came to Minecraft. It was a server and a Discord that people came to, and then they played our live set and then had our little emojis dancing around the stage. That was really awesome. Cute. That was really fun. That was I think 2 weeks ago. But yeah, no, since then we haven't. The one thing that's weird about it is that there is a lag. So I don't know how a band would play if they weren't together in the same room, because there's a lag on Zoom and a lag. I mean, I guess you could have some type of high speed interface or something, but
or if you were fiber tied or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's no real way to overcome the physics of that and get the latency low enough so that you can do that.
Not really. I saw this really funny meme that was a burning building in the back, and then there's a mascot doing a weird little dance, and it was the burning building was live bands in 2020, and then the bunny was solo artists, and he was just he was fine, he was trudging along.
That's so funny.
I was oh god, that's so real.
Yeah. So how do you go about making money in this world now? I mean, are you finding new avenues to
Are you selling drugs, guys?
Are you selling drugs?
I know your mom, Clem. Don't sell
Did you get
drugs.
your PPP check?
Yeah.
We've been getting money from the government, which has been very new.
Wow.
It's funny because a lot of our fellow comrades in Europe, they get money from the government. Like our friends who are in bands get money from the government to pay their rent, to like buy their food, to like go on tour and pay their expenses. And it's so funny to me. I'm like, what? You get money from the government for being a band? Like, that's insane.
The government cares about people.
For them. Yeah, it's very normal for them. And I don't know. It's crazy to be getting aid right now because, I feel like it's normal for some other of our friends who live in France and the UK and Berlin and whatever. And like for us, it's like totally unprecedented.
Yeah. Well, there's always that concept of like, there was that article that was written called, about the 1,000 true fans. And like, if a band had like 1,000 true fans who would spend like $300 a year on their stuff, they could kind of maintain a good living, whether that's through merch or touring or stuff like that. I mean, you guys have a really good fan base. I think if you could, figure out how to keep them entertained, you could probably keep the bus rolling.
Definitely. I mean, the cool thing about, everything already being online is like we're still getting a pretty normal amount of merch sales and a normal amount of record sales. So
that's awesome.
That's cool. I think that people want to support their favorite artist right now. And that's been awesome. Because we're definitely, we get like a lot of our income from that. So it's great.
Have you guys been thinking more about, your brand or your, not necessarily brand, but things that you haven't said that want to say, or concepts that you want to explore, or, stage setups that you'd love to do, or, like this is the time we'd love to play with the symphony orchestra, or weird stuff like that,
Yeah, constantly. I have this issue where my budget that's in my head is always way past the budget that we really have. And I'm like, I want a $200,000 lighting rig. And we're like, but we only have $500.
Credit card.
Yeah. But no. I'm constantly thinking about stage decor and how, because that's a really fun part of it for me personally, is thinking about the aesthetics of stuff. And I just have a lot of fun with that. And, I know that that's not very like musician-y of me, but I really enjoy the aesthetics as aspect of being an artist.
Well, then, also thinking about like, you're making a product, you're making something, and, you've got to have a plan as to how to release that thing. The album that you guys are working on right now, are you looking at kind of, release dates or release plan strategies to get it out? Will you get it out before the quarantines are lifted?
It depends how long the quarantine goes for. Probably not. We're still pretty much in the midst of it, but, I don't know. It's weird. Like our things we're not really getting a lot of updates. The record plant closed, like, people are just freezing. The industry has frozen. So I think people are just kind of waiting to hear what opens back up, and that'll be able to then we'll be able to like suss out what we want to do.
Yeah.
Tabor.
I'd love to be able to say that we had some kind of strategy, but it's like we don't. It's just like one day at a time kind of survival shit.
It's rock and roll. You don't need a strategy. Yeah.
Like, how do we just survive as creative people and try to like move forward and make music, and like we'll, I guess, like cross those bridges when we get to them, but there just doesn't seem to be there's not a lot to work with at the moment.
Do you find that the community of other artists has gotten stronger though? The like-minded creatives, the people that you would play shows and festivals with, are you finding that as a resource? Like you're bonding with these folks more?
Yeah, well, I definitely have just like we FaceTimed John Gurley a few times from Portugal, the man, because he's always knows what to say. And he's like such an awesome dude. And it's been really reassuring to talk to him because just on a person to person level, and he's very politically active as well. So it's just been nice to have his perspective. Like, you know, he has a kid and he lives in Alaska in like a really dope, like, shack on the water. And he's just awesome. He's an awesome guy. So, I mean, we haven't been really talking about process and making records, but we've just been talking person to person about
Life.
about life and what this is and how to get through this together. And that's been really, really nice. And just talking, I mean, things have gotten really basic. Like, I never was domestic ever in my life. Like, I moved around a lot when I was a kid. And then when I became an adult, I was on tour constantly. My house was more like a stop on the train station. And to be like forced to be home, I've been like cooking, I've been cleaning, I've been buying stuff for my house. And that feels really fun because I think that I rejected that as a musician. I'm like, that's lame.
That's not punk rock.
But I'm realizing that it's actually cool and that you can embrace it in a way that's cool. And, you know, I've been proud to do that. So it's been fun to like.
That's awesome.
I made bangers and mash. I've been making mashed potatoes. I haven't been making like healthy food per se, but I've been making a lot of comfort food. So
You got to live a little, right?
yeah, Tabor likes coming over.
There's nothing better than mashed potatoes.
No.
Right?
Definitely.
We were eating so many carbs, we got a Peloton. We broke down. We're like, well, let's give them more money. Come on.
That's cheating.
It is cheating. I mean, I have to say, like, I was kind of anti-Peloton just because they had amassed such a following and ascended to such like magnitude that it's like, I'm not going to be one of those people. And now I'm on the Peloton. I'm crying
They're
to the
good,
people's
though.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna interview with one of the Peloton instructors for the show, and I just can't wait because, like, to me,
That's
she's a
awesome.
superstar, but like nobody else will know her unless you have a Peloton. It's like that's a weird thing. You've created your own
Peloton
channel.
community.
Totally.
That's great. Yeah, our manager did the same thing. He broke down and got one. Like in the early days of Quar.
Yeah. So just a few more questions. 2 trains, one going north, one going south at 72. No.
I was really paying attention. I was like, oh no, are we about to do math right now? Okay.
No. I don't do math. Math is.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what the right answer is.
I would know. No, I use Chris for math, and yeah. So,
Well, we're all screwed then.
in addition to doing like domestic things around the house, because I've been there too. I mean, I put up that banner in the back. I've been cleaning. I've put up pictures. Yeah. Are you making other stuff? Are you exercising your creativity in other ways?
I'm going on a lot of hikes.
We've been doing a lot of hiking, a lot of like hitting the trails since they've been open.
And drawing. We've been doing a lot of drawing, a lot of art making. Yeah,
a lot of drawing and a lot of painting. We live like right down the street from Arroyo Seco, which is like a great park. So it's huge and there's trails everywhere and it's literally in our backyard. So that's been fucking awesome. I know it's crazy how California has such an amazing, like, you can be in the mountains, you can be in the desert, you can be at the beach, you can be in the forest. So it's cool that I'm such a big fan of the state. I'm a diehard West Coaster.
Do you guys get to spend time with family? I mean, Clem, do you get to see your mom, dad?
I've been seeing them a lot since quarantine started.
Awesome.
That's been one thing that changed is like, I feel like I am still in this phase where I'm like, yeah, I'm coming over. Like, I'll be over at some point, and then like I don't see them for like 3 months, and they're like, please come over. But now, since quarantine started, I've been seeing them a lot because it's been nice that we're in the same circle, and like I care about them so much, and it's just been really fun to like see them all the time because we live close, and it's like I don't know, I'm not really seeing any of my friends because they're not really in my germ circle besides Tabor and his roommates and like 1 or 2 other people.
I love this term, germ circle. I'm going to steal this.
yeah, definitely.
I feel like my entire college was a germ circle, that whole experience.
I know,
You're your own
it's
germ
really
circle.
Yeah. Just thinking about hydrochloroquine. I would never take that even in my own germ circle. But no, but I would drink bleach. I mean, that seems like a smart move.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Sure, no problem.
Have you guys been doing other podcasts like this? Or I saw there was a Rolling Stone thing that Chris sent me that you did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We did a few sessions for Fender and Rolling Stone, and that Minecraft thing that we did. A friend of mine just hit me up from Evanston, and he wants to do like a festival thing, and he wants a live set for it. So we have that we would love to give to him. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of collaborative, like session type things. It's cool because I feel like some artists and friends of mine have really built up like a green screen. They've got good cameras. They've got the green screen, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Chris.
I got an awesome green screen.
Dork alert.
I love it. It's really great. Like I feel like that's how you can create a really good like musical festival experience is like having that stuff. So I think that a lot of people who are already doing that are thriving right now.
Yeah,
totally.
Well, considering I'm in Evanston, I'm really jacked about that show that you're talking about. So
yeah, I'll let you know about it.
Definitely.
Well, you guys, it's amazing to see you both. It's amazing that you've kept your humor, and you're looking, both of you are looking beautiful as ever. Dude Fest 2020, what are we going to do, guys?
Virtual show? I don't know.
We got to talk about virtual show.
Yeah.
So, raise a glass to the dude.
Yeah.
To the duty booty.
It's so lovely seeing you guys. Love to you both. Chris, any final words, my brother?
No, it's just that it's awesome to see you guys, and I can't wait for the show in Evanston. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And Dude Fest, I'm in.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys need.
Well, stay
100%.
safe. Keep protesting and keep producing, man. And
Thank you so much.
all right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.